Good morning. Happy Sunday. Grounding and centering and waiting here at the playground. I'm going to go on the swings for a few minutes while my friends catch up to me. I never mind waiting. I'm a bit of a mess. I should really try to save or share. But if you get here first, I'm going to hang out with my friends instead. Good morning. Who's here? I see two. Good morning. It's Sunday. And it's a little grumpy out. We're almost to a full moon. I was excited about the full moon. I saw it coming up over the mountains last night. It was absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. I'm going to try to get up there today as high as I can go and see what I can catch as long as these clouds clear away. We'll have to see what the weather's going to do. Because I love the moon. I love the moon. I love the moons. I think I came from a planet that had 3 moons. I see that often. I'm off in La La Land and I see 3 moons above me. Hi, good morning, Carol. It's nice to see you this morning. How are you? I don't think you're alone here with me. I think there's a couple more. I'm going to share this real quick. I can. Maybe it's down here too. This page works so funny. Hi, Gerald Ann. Good morning. Glad to see you. How are you guys? My family's gathering. We've been talking about that this morning, haven't we? Maybe if I do that. Help me share, would you please? I can't figure out what I'm doing this morning. I'm a little lost. It's okay. I've been up for a long time today, surprisingly. I got up really early, had a real early morning session, so I've been here. Hi, Charlie. I missed you yesterday. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Julie. Good morning, everyone. Who's ready to go play? Let's see if I switch that over to me. I can share it to my page, I think. Facebook keeps changing things. It seems like I can't keep up with the way things keep changing. And so, good morning, Gabby. How are you? I was just thinking of you, Gabby. I'm not sure why. Your face kind of popped in. So I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for sharing. I love it when my friends pop in and help me out. I share it to my homepage. So anyone that's watching this on a different page, I'm not good at following comments except on one page. So if anyone comes in on a different page, you got to come over to Enlightened Living this morning. That's where I'll see you. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you. You know, okay. I just reminded myself again. I complain a lot, so I'm gonna let me whine for just a second. About a year and a half ago, I injured my shoulder. I did a number on it, and it would come out of the socket. And I was in so much pain. They thought it was a rotator cuff injury, and then the physical therapist, as soon as she could start moving it, she actually moved it in a direction, and it popped back into place. So for months, it was out of the socket. When I would go to sleep at night, it would just kind of pop out by itself, and then I would manage to work it back in, and then it would keep popping out. It was very painful. And it got better. When I came to the mountains, it got better. It was like as soon as I let go of that relationship and I came moving back towards the mountains to where I belong, the shoulder healed and I felt better. Well, 2 days ago when Jim and I went out looking for the troll bridge, wow, that troll bridge was so cool and it was so beautiful out there and I was just enjoying the walk. I actually have a video through the woods. It was hi Lindsay, really beautiful time out there in the woods. And there was a soft rain starting to fall and it was kind of misty. And it was falling on the rocks. And I did not plan on hiking that day, so I had sneakers, running shoes on instead of, or more walking. They didn't have much tread. Usually I'll wear my boots if I'm going to go hiking. I didn't have my boots on, I just had these silly shoes. But I'm still a monkey. That's how I hurt my shoulder in the first place, was out hiking through the woods. So I'm hiking through the woods, and I saw Jim came up around some rocks, and I'm kind of taking the off-road to get back out to the main road. So I'm climbing over all these rocks and stuff. I was doing fine. He shows up. I was doing fine all by myself. Let me say that. I'm very independent. He shows up, and I decide to go over this one big rock, and it's kind of jutted up between a couple of other rocks. The 2 rocks were like walls around me, and then the one big rock was up in the middle, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, yeah, if I was by myself, I probably wouldn't do that. He comes up closer. I had my glasses under my shirt or hanging off my necklace like I usually do, which was silly. as I climb up on that rock, I stepped on it very carefully so I wouldn't fall. And as I leaned over, my glasses fell down to the side of the rock. So I leaned sideways to see if I could get those glasses. And as soon as I leaned sideways, my foot slid right off of that rock. And I almost went face first into the rock, but I caught myself, and I'm glad I didn't go face first. I caught myself with both arms to the side to those rocks, and barely, and they were hyperextended backwards again. So this one on the left is a little bit off, and this one on the right is horrible again. Not as bad as it was last year, but it's very angry with me. So here we go again. So I sit here going, okay, well, how did I draw this into myself? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's just kind of coincidence sometimes that you injure the same stuff? And is it the same lesson trying to come back through to me? Am I holding on to something too tightly? Or is it just that I'm very clumsy and accident prone and I climb around like a monkey? That's what I'm trying to decide this morning. So if you see me wince, the only reason I'm telling you that is I went to pick up my tea with my right hand and my shoulder screamed at me. And so if I wince, that's why. Bad shoulder. Naughty shoulder. Let's see, what is morning, although here in the UK, it's middle of the afternoon. I know it is. You guys are so far ahead of us. Sometimes Erin pops in from New Zealand, and she's 18 hours ahead of us. So we'll often do sessions on Friday nights, and we're working on my evening and her Saturday morning, which I think is really crazy for anybody to be that far ahead. Time is crazy. Thank you, Charlie. It's all right. It's just me. I get migraines. I fall off rocks. It's interesting trying to keep up with me. Let's just say that. He couldn't quite catch me. Jim was there. He saw me going. He couldn't quite stop me from going all the way. I went really fast. He tried. It's hard to keep up with me, I promise. Like a toddler these days. I gotta climb around on rocks, and I told you guys yesterday, I don't know if you were all here, I got down under that bridge when he was gone. He wasn't gone past the troll bridge, so I knew I could see where he was working his way back to me, so I climbed down under the troll bridge. It's the cutest little bridge, and I never did post pictures of it for you guys yet, so I'll do that. We got down under that bridge, and I'm waiting, and I hear this bloomp, bloomp, and I'm like, oh, here he comes. And I said, who's that walking over my bridge? I was waiting to get his response. I wanted to be the troll. He didn't answer right. He was supposed to be the Billy Goat Gruff, but he didn't do it. He snuck around behind me and said something, what are you doing? And scared me. So it didn't work. It backfired on me, but it was fun. You got no sound, Tina? Does everybody else have sound? If you got no sound, if anybody else is just watching my mouth move and you can't hear me, please let me know. Because I don't want to sit here and talk sign language. I don't know what I did with my earbuds, or I'd put them in. Oops, Julian. I have sound. Thank you. Thank you. So, Tina, work on your sound. It sounds like it's something on your side, not on mine. So, what have you guys been up to? Have you been looking for troll bridges? Have you been enjoying the nature and the magic in the woods at all? If you haven't, I'm going to post a bunch of pictures. I even have video. I want to share it with you because it was really incredible. I got my sleepy face. I've been very busy for a couple of days. I'm glad you have sound. Thank you, Carol Ann. I feel better. I don't have my headaches just lifted. When I hugged this big tree 2 days ago, that tree was massive. Gosh, it was beautiful, and it invited me in. And as soon as I gave that big old tree a hug, headaches were gone. It's magic. Truly, there's magic in the woods. Good, Julie. I'm glad. So yesterday we had fun with cartoons. Many of you didn't quite make it yesterday, and that's okay. We had fun. We were discussing Saturday morning cartoons. Sunday morning there was cartoons too. We actually named my favorite ones on Sunday morning. Yesterday was David and Goliath and Gumby. We used to watch those every Sunday morning before church. Anything to keep the kids busy before church started, I think. Hi, John. Thank you. I have to work hard at that. It doesn't always come naturally. It's maybe it's ingrained from raising so many kids that I just get to the point where I'm like, maybe I just finally lost my mind. I never thought of it that way. I lost that stressed out energy. I just decided no matter what happens, it's not worth being crazy over. So I stay pretty calm most of the time. How are you guys feeling today? What is going on? The world is a little bit crazy still. I decided this morning, headlines started to come up and I said, nope, not going to do it to myself today. Today I'm taking a break. So I didn't look to see too much. I was watching the hurricane, which is now, I think, a tropical storm for you Floridians. But I haven't seen what was going on with that yet this morning because I went right into an early morning session. So if you guys have any thing that you want to pull in for any what you would call prayer requests or anything that you want to pull into meditation, you can go ahead and pop it up there. I'm always happy to put it in there. Who would like, let me do something special for about the next 15 minutes. Because I've been wanting to pull this over to the Beyersdorfer Institute. This, maybe a card pulling. I used to pull cards for people all the time, and I don't do it anymore. I do readings for people. I do sessions. I do energy healing, and things like that. But I've kind of put my cards away. I only have one deck now here. The rest of them are still packed away. But the other day on the show, forever after that, we decided to pull a few cards, and it felt kind of good. And then in our healing group, in our support group the other day, we pulled some cards, and it kind of feels good to pull cards. So if you want a card, I'm more than willing to give you like a 3-card reading real quick. We got just a few minutes, and you guys are good enough to show up every day. So if anybody's interested in that, we'll throw that into the playground for a few minutes. Carol Ann never got to watch Sunday cartoons. We were at church all day. It was before church for me, because when I was a child, oftentimes in that age, I remember my uncle was a Methodist minister, and we lived close enough to him for a while to go to his church. That was fun, because we were related, we could go up to the bell tower, and we were like something special. It's kind of cool. Beginning to feel at peace. Very good. The healing continues, but not quite as intense today. Good. Good. It's every now and then we need a break, don't we? It's like we're growing so fast, we're learning so much, we're evolving so quickly. It feels as if that's where maybe something in the whole universal, in the collective consciousness is released. That's what it feels like to me. We were in some really intense energy, and I was getting that from everyone that I was talking to, that everyone felt exhausted. I didn't know one person that was feeling energized this past week or so. It's been over and over and over again. I feel so tired. Like we're sick, but we're not. We just feel exhausted. It's what I would consider an energy flu. The energy has been super heavy and hard to breathe through. Like it just feels more difficult to get air. Does that make sense to you? Like it's heavy on the chest. All of this collective consciousness has been very heavy. So it feels as if we're getting some real help all of a sudden. I know even when things happen that should be super stressful and scary, it's like I get this sense of, oh, it's all right. I put in here everything's changing. What did I put as my thing today? Changes in the air. Changes in the air, because it feels to me like we've made another shift. We made it. You guys pat yourselves on the back. We made it through another shift. A very difficult one that required a whole lot of energy. And we were all putting out energy like you wouldn't believe. And it was good that we were all reminding each other to accept help and to reach out to each other and say, hey, I got your back. I'm here. If you need some help, you need someone to talk to, we're here. I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing this trend of pulling towards the soul family. We're all here together, so many of us. And we have been mothers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, spouses, loved ones for many, many lifetimes. And as we come back into those soul circles again, we're reminding ourselves, we're now getting this reminder that this is your true family. That yes, you've been born into other people. Oftentimes you have, for one example, and this sounds, when I used to say it, I thought it sounded kind of crazy, but it's really very true. He's made me understand how true it is that Steve and we had 9 kids between us. And he had a stronger, easier relationship with my kids than he did with his own. And when he was dying, it was like, of course he loved his children more than anything. He loved his children. And yet there was this always this sense of they were kind of outside energy coming in. I didn't know how to deal with it. It was like so difficult with me. And I love kids. I truly love them. And yet they didn't feel, I realize now what it was is they weren't part of my soul family. And so having them living in my home felt very, I know I've had past lifetimes where I've been in tribes as Native American. And so you've got this tight family unit. And then when others would come into it, it felt like they didn't belong there. And so that's how it felt. And it was not only something that I felt, he felt it too. He felt a closeness, an instant closeness to my kids. And when he passed, I got a message, something about the one with the T name is like my twin. That's my son Ty. And please, he gave a message to his youngest, the one with the A name, which was Abby. It was like he loved his children. I would never deny that. He absolutely loved his earthly children. But please remember that we have these soul families. So we have physical people that come into our world, and they're not necessarily a part of the soul family. And we know when we meet soul family members. And we also know when we're stuck in a family full of people that are not our soul family. They're like, there's something about them. I don't even know how to explain that, because I know at the root we're all connected. But some of us are coming back into lifetimes over and over again in the same circles. Like we've grown to know each other so well. We just know that somehow we're related to this person, even though we've never physically met them in this lifetime. Does that make sense? Carol Ann would love a reading today. We will do that. Well, you had a lot of church. Carol, you had a lot of church. Okay. J. Jane Clark, we will do one for you too. Cards would be fun, Gerald Ann. We can do that for a few minutes. Let's play cards. Let's do that. Let's see what they got for us too. Yeah, you just feel family, don't you, Carol Ann? And you don't even know. You also, I believe that we still feel the energies of past lives. So when we've got someone in our life that feels really negative to us, that no matter what we do, we can try and try to feel good with that person in our home. I really tried because I love kids so much. And I was so uncomfortable. I was so always, when they were there, and two of them lived with us for a long time, and I worked and worked and worked. One stayed with me almost for a year after Steve died. The oldest one did. I had to really work at it, and I love kids, and I'm very welcoming to people. So part of it was that their mother wouldn't allow me to have a close relationship with them. She would come between us, and part of it was deeper. Part of it was at a soul level. And I'm only saying that because I want you to recognize that even people that you should feel very close to, oftentimes you can't. And no matter what you do, you just can't seem to form that tight bond. But then you'll meet somebody else, a total stranger, and you're like, I know you. Isn't it interesting? All right, let's see. Who asked for that first? I think it was Jane Clark. Can we just call you Jane? You're quite low today. Energy is quite low. Energy has been running really low for people, so just know that you got to take good care of yourself right now. B12, watch your B vitamins. Make sure that you're getting enough iron, lots of water, lots of healing earth energy, that kind of stuff. Take good care of yourself. Protein. Watch your diet. Make sure you're eating healthy foods and you take good care of yourself. And if it stays low, obviously go get yourself checked out. But if they can't find anything, then just know that there's a very heavy, thick energy on the planet right now. It feels like it's starting to lighten. If you're not feeling it yet, you probably will soon. But it's been very hard to breathe. And when we can't breathe, we don't feel our energy sources, right? So that's part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and see what cards are being pulled for you. I just felt one. I just got to move them around until one of them, something in me just goes, that's it. It's like, stop that. Stop right there. So Jane Clark, this is for you. Clark is actually every time I hear your name, Clark is my family name. It was my grandmother's maiden name. And Jane is my aunt's. It's a family name too. It's my aunt, my mother's twin sister's name is Jane, and Abby's middle name is Jane. So it's interesting. We may be related somewhere over in the UK, which is where that Clark name came from, I believe. Oh, this is kind of exciting. Okay, I'm going to do a quick past present, future. I'm going to show you the cards, and then I'm just going to let whatever comes out of my face come out of my face, okay? I don't know you at all, Jane. So this is just going to happen, okay? So first you got a time for healing. I think everything's backwards on this one. I'm sorry. And then don't let pride get in your way. And then comes the exciting part. A new romance cycle begins. So I don't know you. I don't know where you are relationship-wise. I think almost everyone that I've read cards for in this past week has gotten this card, A Time for Healing. And that's what we were just talking about, that right now humanity is in a time of huge healing, whether we see it or not. Whenever we start having these cycles of serious illness going through, there is this sense of, it's not even a sense of, what's happening is a recalibration of the physical body trying to keep up with a different light energy that's moving onto the planet. And some physical bodies can't deal with this. Some souls choose to step out of this, cannot stay in this new energy. They've chosen to not be here, whether they're moving on to a higher level and they're being light workers on the other side, or whether they're baby souls, very young, and they've chosen not to go through this evolutionary cycle that can be very, very painful and difficult. I can't tell you every time. One by one, we could tell you where they're going, but on a huge level, there's people coming and going very quickly right now. And it is a time for deep healing. Whether you stay physical, whether you pass, whether you let go of the physical, you're still going into healing. That's the reminder, is that we all are receiving healing, whether we stay here or whether we go. Our bodies are going through a huge change right now. And so we are required to really take good care of ourselves and remember that every part of this virus or any other virus or any other thing that comes along is a part of that recalibration, is a part of our bodies trying to adjust to a lighter energy. So that's that part. Don't let pride get in your way. What are you holding on to? Those lower vibrational energies, those things that keep us in a cycle. Like we can go for many lifetimes. Something happens to us way back when, and it gets us stuck in this cycle, this negative cycle that we don't want to let go of. And so if you are prideful of something, if there's something that you need to give up, something that you need to tell others, something that you need to release, but you're afraid to tell others because your pride gets in the way. You don't want people to think poorly of you. You don't want to lose something. You don't want to lose somebody. They're reminding you to pride is one of those things that is from a lower vibrational. It comes out of fear. Anything that comes out of fear, it's time to release. So if there's anything, just kind of examine your life. If there's anything that you're holding on to that you're ready to let go of, if there's anything that you need to tell someone that you're afraid to tell them, they're encouraging you through that, not in a negative way, but it's okay. It's time to let that out. Go ahead and speak it. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear stop you from being authentically your own self, because as we become more and more authentic, it allows us to keep advancing higher and higher and higher. So the next one is a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. That's me. New moon in Libra is all about, or this romantic cycle. It might not be a whole different person. It could be the same person that you're with. Nobody's saying that there's going to be any kind of huge change in that way. What it is you are becoming, as you heal, as you release that lower vibrational energy, you are more and more open to receive love, to move into a new light, to move into a new kind of relationship. All of humanity is being called to come into a bigger kind of relationship, not necessarily the kind of relationships that we're used to. We're used to, two people meet in high school, whatever you meet, you date for a little while, you get married, you have 2.3 kids, whatever it is. A lot of those relationships are very shallow. They're based on physical need. They're based on codependency. And we are moving out of the codependent phase. We're moving into an independent phase where we co-create, not codependency, but co-independency, where we are co-creators on the planet, where we are teamed up with a partner who will help us to advance on a higher, faster spiritual level. You'll work together. Some of those relationships don't necessarily last forever. Sometimes they're only there to bring you to a higher place. And then as you learn what you're meant to learn from that soul, you may move on to another soul. There's a whole different change taking place. So please stop thinking of relationships as having to be just exactly as they've always been. Just like everything else, we're in a time of big change. And the soul is here to advance. The soul is here to love more and more deeply. And sometimes that is what is required in the soul learning those lessons is more than one relationship. It could be that you get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm stagnant here. What happens when we all get to a place where we realize that we can sit down with each other and say, okay, I've learned everything I need to learn from you. It's time for me to move on. It's time for me to let go. The next relationship that I have may just be with myself. I may need time to just be me and to learn to love me better. Or I may be ready to move into a relationship that's going to take me to a higher level. So that's where relationships are going. So please be aware of that we are moving into a whole new energy, a whole new understanding, an understanding of the truth of who we are. And as we see one another at a soul level, it changes how our relationships have to work too. Our relationships have to evolve along with us. Okay? So I hope some of that makes sense to you. And you can let me know one way or another. Sometimes I go off. Can come in kind of fast. Let's see. Deal'em, Charlie. Deal'em. Charlie wants a card too. We got time. We can go for another 15-20 minutes anyway. Call Jane. Okay. Jane, you're so welcome. Hi, Shauna. Okay, we're going to try to get as many readings in as we can before I got to go into meditation. So I'm going to do these fast. So I think Carol was the next one, and then Gerald Ann, and then Charlie, and then Shauna. I think that's it. And if I miss anybody, please tell me. Okay. So we got Carol. Oh, Carol, the cards light right up for you. I want to give you the whole deck. I think that's happening because the one on the bottom is the one it wants you to have. I think your guy shows up in me. As soon as I start to draw towards Carol's energy, I feel that energy. Hi, Bill. Okay. I gotta recoup. It's not feeling right. All done. Let's clear away, Jane. If those same cards keep coming up, you'll have to know what it is. Okay. All right. That one feels like you. I didn't clear myself up very well, did I? All right. So what I got are, now remember this is past, present, future, okay? So adjustments are required. And it's starting to make sense to me already. It's starting to come through. The answers you need are coming. You're very close to achieving your goal. Look at that big full moon, which is about to happen. So you and I both know that you've gone through quite a transitional phase just recently. Never mind the fact that what happened, a couple of years ago, but right now, recently, you have come to a whole different plateau. And so what they're showing you is as you've made these adjustments, as you're changing things up, as you're looking at the world a little bit differently, starting to see magic, adjust your focal point, adjust your focus, change the way that you're looking at the world. As you're going through that, as you're going, wait, I only see it this way, black and white, and suddenly you're like, wait, I'm seeing it in full color. I'm seeing like the Wizard of Oz, where she was in Kansas and everything was black and white, and then she went into Oz and everything was color. And that's you right now, Carol. You went from that black and white phase into this color phase, and you went in very quickly. Excuse me, there's my water. And that often happens these days when we lose a loved one, especially when it's a very profound loss. We can feel this huge sense of loss. We have this darker phase where adjustments are required, where we've got to see things differently. In our grief, we only see the darkness. We can't really see through it to the light. And then suddenly we start to let the light prick on through. We start to see a few little bits of it, and then all of a sudden it comes in more and more and more. And there's a point where all we're seeing is the light and the beautiful colors. And that's where you are now. You've come through where you can see those colors. And then you go into this beautiful phase of the answers you need are coming. Well, of course, now that you can see that color, you've been needing answers for a long time. Why did I lose him? Why did you have... You're asking him, why did you leave me? Why did this have to happen? I finally had this person and I'm so in love and he was so young. Why did this have to happen? And so as you go into that color phase where you're seeing more and more and more color, all of a sudden you're seeing the dragonflies and the butterflies and all the color and the light, and you're like, okay, now I'm starting to see. I'm starting to see that there is more to this life. There's more to me than I thought that there was. And you didn't really leave me at all. You know, that's the thing, is they didn't really leave us at all. They're still so close, and my third eye is tingling like crazy right now. So that's you. That's you getting your answers into that third eye, because I'm sensing into your energy. So your third eye is going, ooh, that's just vibrating right now. Like, yeah, I'm seeing things like I've never seen them before. Find the joy in that. You know, we can get so lost in our grief. Most people get so lost in grief that they can't see through it to the light. And you've come to this place where you not only are you seeing through the grief, past it, and to well past it. And as you're looking at the end of that tunnel, you see bright colors and beautiful rainbows, because you're allowing yourself. It's always there. We just block it. And you're open to it now. And you're seeing past it. And so this goal that you've set up for yourself, that you keep getting reminders for, like you did the other night a couple of times, there's a goal there, and you're so close to achieving it. So you came here for this. You came here to experience these things so that you could really wake up, so that you could help other people to come back out into the light like you have. And so use your abilities, use your experiences like I do, in a way of sharing that story, whatever you do best. Share your story. Through your painting, through writing. Do a beautiful painting and put a phrase on it and put it out there, words that are going to reach out and touch someone. My third eye is going crazy right now. I don't know if you can feel that, but it's like somebody's just sitting here. So if you're feeling that, you're getting so much third eye activity, so much growth, so much work in that third eye. That's why you're seeing things more clearly. So I hope that makes sense to you. J.J. Clark, the relationship phases you speak of are spot on. I've done the, 2.2 kids, family relationship. Then I was someone who was very spiritual. I was with someone who was very, very spiritual, I thought was my perfect person. That relationship is, I had one of those too. Wait a minute. That relationship is unfortunately also ended. Now I'm on my own. Makes perfect sense. You're so welcome. Good, I'm glad that it's a time for learning to love yourself. Look in the mirror every day. Love yourself when you get to the point where you love yourself so much that you're perfectly okay being all by yourself. Mr. Right's going to walk right into the building. I had that exact same experience too after Steve died. I had a 2-year relationship. He was pretty special in some ways. Other ways, he triggered me every which way but loose. He truly did. Made me kind of crazy and very controlling. And so I knew when it was time I had learned from him and I was ready to step out of it. That's the thing, is you learn, okay, very spiritual, I'm learning a lot, and then when it's time to step out, step out. Hopefully next you'll find that one that's going to take you all the way through the rest of your lifetime on this earth. I don't know. But make sure you're ready for it. When you stand strongly on your own 2 feet, that's when you'll find him, I promise. Okay, Shauna. See, Geraldine, I think, was next, and we got Charlie, and then we got Shauna. Okay, let's do this quick. Geraldine, card, quick. We got time. We got time. We're sticking around as long as we need to. Okay. Geraldine's like my sister. I feel her energy. It's like my sister's in the room. Only my sister that understands me better than my real sister. Okay, let's do this. So you got 3 cards. Okay, let's just do this. See if you see how you feel about this. I'm almost like, no, I don't want to do this on here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so communication is key. I think we already know what that's all about. We're going to talk about it in a second. The energy is gaining momentum. It's a beautiful picture. And it's, notice, Geraldine, notice the mountains in the background. That looks very familiar to me. The energy is gaining momentum. And you got a new romantic cycle begins too. So I think we're all in that same energy of creating relationships differently, and it includes all of our relationships, and it includes the fact that we have relationships, some are going to come to an end. Communication is key, remembering that it's so important to be able to communicate. It's so important the way that we communicate, and sometimes, and we always communicate through energy, always, even if we're holding we're holding ourselves together and we're speaking quietly. The energy behind the words means everything. So, and you know that, we all know that when somebody speaks at us, that we feel their energy. Are they being gentle? Are they being loving? Do we feel a gentle, loving energy from them? Or even sometimes people will speak very, very quietly. And yet the energy that comes from them is like a sword to the heart. So communication is so important, and it really is communicating on every level, physical, spiritual, emotional, energetically. Remember, energy is everything right now. Energy is the new currency, truly. What you do with it is so important. So remember that how you use your energy through your words is very important. And is it important to communication for me, or for you, Geraldine? Communication is communicating with your own being, communicating more with your small self, because that part of you that's so injured needs to hear your voice talking to it, needs to hear Geraldine as if Geraldine is mom, in a gentle, sweet way, talking. Just talk. Find a quiet place, set a recorder, or just use your phone or whatever you want to do, and talk nicely to yourself, and start calming yourself down with that mama voice that we all have inside of us. Just start using it. We all have the voice of kindness and compassion. Start speaking to yourself. Yes, I hear that message. Use your higher self to speak to your small self. Tap into that higher self and allow that wisdom to come through and teach the ego. That's the communication that you need when that card comes up. It's not communicating with family members that don't want to hear you. It's not communicating with anyone that doesn't want to hear what you have to say or feel what you have to say. It's you learning how to take care of your own needs so that you don't need that from anyone else. So you get what you need through communication, through your own higher self. Does that make sense? And then you've got the energy is gaining momentum. You know that you're building something, building. It's getting closer. There is a day when everything is going to shift for you in the direction that you want it to go. And then that new romance cycle begins. So I think you know what all that is. We don't need to, I'm going to move on to the next one quickly because I think you understand what all that is. Learning to communicate effectively with yourself, gaining all of that understanding and that solid base from the higher self, training the ego, and then allowing yourself that momentum to shoot you right into exactly what you're looking for. Okay? Oops, that arm hurts. This baby face. I'll sit here and cry. Okay, Charlie, and then Shauna. Charlie, how are you this morning? I know it's been an emotional time for you. I hope you're doing well. Hold on. Sending you a little healing, Charlie. I felt that. Take a big breath. Pull it into your heart. Big breath. You're receiving healing right now as we speak. I felt that draw as soon as I said your name, so I had to stop for a minute. Okay. Let's get you 3 quick cards. We still got time. We're doing fine. I would do this all day. It's fun. Okay, cool. All right. Yes. Here you go, Charlie. This is for you. So we have a time for healing. I think there must be a dozen of these in the deck. Either that or Spirit wants everyone to have a time for healing and to remind us all that we are in a time for healing. Okay? Make sure you know we're all in a time for healing right now. The whole of all of humanity is in a time for healing, and you most definitely, Charlie, are in a time for healing. And healing has to come first. So I know that you are getting a lot of energy. You're expanding so fast. Please know that if you don't allow your body to keep up with this huge spiritual expansion that you've got going on, then you're going to create some illness, because it's going to be hard for you to keep up. You're going to feel more tired. You might get sick. I usually, when I do that, because I'm well known for that kind of thing, I'll end up with a horrible cold, or I'll injure a shoulder or whatever. My body says, okay, you won't slow down all by yourself. I'm going to give you a reminder to slow down. So please allow me to give you that, to make sure that you are receiving. Don't just try to give all the time. Make sure that you're receiving healing too. Okay? You got to get through the healing part first. After a big loss, we have to get through the healing part first, and then we move into, and then we're able to move forward into the work that we came here to do. But the healing has to be the most important thing. Healing for you and Lisa. She still needs healing too. You got to let her go a little bit. Let her go into healing, so that as she comes to you, she brings you health and strength. And she will. She'll just get stronger and stronger, and it'll be more and more beautiful, okay? So, focus on that severing, letting go of that cord, letting her go into healing, telling her, yes, go into healing, babe. It's time. You get yourself all healed. We don't want them to continue to suffer, okay? And then we got time to take action. And so then, after you get that healing, look at that big old ram. He is powerful. When you get through with that healing, you're going to be ready to really move into these new gifts that you're developing. And I feel like you're a powerful power. You really are like a ram. I'm seeing you just blasting down walls. Those things that are blocking people. Those things that are keeping people from prosperity, from healthy living, from each other, all of those things. You're going to be a strong voice. You already are. Get the healing in first, and then move into action, okay? And then conclusions are within reach. So as far as you've gone, know that as you move through these other steps, finish off the healing and then take action, that your conclusion, everything that you've been longing for, everything that you're working at, you may not even know what it is yet, but there is a beautiful conclusion here. There's a story. The story is going to have a happy ending. I would rather say it like that. I don't like conclusion, but a happy ending to this beautiful fairy tale that you're living right now. Happily ever after is a better way to put it. Happily ever after. Allow yourself to feel that sense that the stuff has happened. There's things to do. There's healing. You're both in a healing process and a releasing process. But as you do this, it's going to keep getting easier. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Look at that beautiful moon. Okay? So I hope you're feeling that today, Charlie. Shauna. Shauna is next. Let's do this quick. I think I'm going to have to draw the line here, too. Unless, we got all these things. Hi, Meryl. Do you understand? Good, Geraldine. Good. Stay in that heart space. Perfect. Mountains. Good. Good, Jane. Keep me posted. Okay. Good, guys. It looks like this is the last card for the day. Everybody, I hope you're listening, because these cards are always, there's readings for everyone. So oftentimes you'll hear things that you need in other people's readings. Okay. And then we're going to go into a meditation. So this one's for Shauna. Make sure I haven't seen anything from her. I'm going to do it anyway. Shauna Winstead. Okay. I have to get my other decks. Yes. I'm getting that lion a lot today. The Leo. Ooh, I love these. I love these. And they came up in perfect order for you, Shauna. So let me show you. You got surrender to the divine. Yeah. Surrender to the divine. I'll make sure I put them frontwards. Which is a beautiful moon. And then you got don't let pride get in your way. With that big old lion again. And then you got the answers you need are coming. So that tells me that the divine, remember that you are the divine. We hear that and we're like, what does that mean? Surrender to the divine means that you are surrendering to the truth of who you are. That's how I see it. It's getting into that place where you realize you're beginning to realize your own greatness. And if you haven't yet, please start to open up to that. I'll sit here and tell you a million times that you are a spark of the divine, that you are this beautiful soul, incredible, perfect soul wrapped up in a physical body. And that inside of you, you've got all the answers that you ever needed, ever wanted. And so as you go through that surrendering is like, I'm standing at a body of water. I always think of myself jumping off of that waterfall. But I'm standing here and I'm looking over, or you can see yourself as in my book, the Anchor Light book, on the plank. You're standing there and you're looking over and you see this dark swirling water, and everything that you want is down there. There's nothing up here. It's hot. The sun is beating down on you. You're getting a sunburn. Bugs are biting. You're just standing up here and you don't want to let go because it's comfortable. There's comfort in our discomfort. We're so used to, humanity is so used to being uncomfortable that it just is addicted to it. And so this card is all about letting go of that addiction to be uncomfortable, to allow yourself to realize your own greatness. So in order to realize your own greatness, you got to be willing to make that leap sometimes. You make that leap, and as you make that leap from I don't know what's coming up from my face, I'm sorry. But as you make that leap from the that hot, dry, uncomfortable place that you are, you're going to fall into that water. That water is everything that you've ever wanted. But you can't get to it unless you surrender to it. Surrendering means you're just going to fall without knowing how far you're going to fall, without knowing what's going to be down at the bottom. It's all about trust and faith. So as you trust yourself, as you trust God or the divine, whoever, whatever name you want to use, the universe, universal oneness, whoever you call on, as you trust your own self, you fall into that beautiful state of surrender. Surrender is the most incredible place to be. We're so scared of it, and it is the most incredible, because when you finally completely surrender to it, that's when you start to get the answers. And sometimes the second card you got was don't let pride get in your way. Well, you don't let pride get in your way. As we just said a little while ago, sometimes pride gets in there and tries to tell you that if you do this, people are going to think poorly of you. They're going to think you're crazy. If you fully fall into your own spirituality, they're going to call you, you're afraid that you're going to get ostracized, or that you're going to lose friends or lose loved ones, okay? Pride can do that for us. It can keep us from our own greatness, because we're so prideful of the status that we've got, of the friends that we've got, of the car that we're driving, or the house that we've got, or the relationships or whatever. And we're so afraid to surrender to our own divine essence that we're afraid that if we do that, we're going to lose everything that we've worked so hard to build, and that people will disrespect us. That's tough for me too. People see me, they think I'm kind of strange, that I fall into this stuff, and they're like, some of them fall away, and I have to be willing to let them. So that's where you need to move pride out of the way. Just say, you know what, you don't have a place here. You are lower vibrational energy, pride, and I don't need you here anymore. And then you just start to move into this state of the answers that you need are coming, that it opens up to you. Okay? You learn to let go, and then the energy starts to build inside of you, and all of a sudden you start to realize your own greatness. And as you do, you open up to your own answers. You suddenly start talking to that higher self that's inside of you. You have that, the same thing that all of us do. The divine essence is inside of you. And learning to shift from the ego into the divine, suddenly, I got my answers. I'm moving forward now. Opportunities are flowing. I've got all of these people wanting my time. They're offering me money. They're offering me all kinds of stuff because I opened up to the truth of who I am. Suddenly things just start to fall into place. Whatever's going on in your life, it just starts to fall into place, and easily. It gets so much easier. You don't have to fight the water anymore. It just takes you where you want to go. Does that make sense? So, you're welcome, Shauna. Thank you for sticking around. Hi, Meryl. Good morning. Doing great, Charlie. Good. All right, you guys, we got to do a quick We'll do more cards tomorrow if you want to, or we'll move. I think I'm going to start doing cards on the Beyersdorfer Institute free readings. Maybe a couple times a week we'll go in and just have an hour of reading cards. You guys can come in and do that if you'd like. If you raise your hand, I'll say yes. Okay, we'll do it. So we are going to go into a meditation. You guys, if people sent me messages, I want to apologize. Anything that happened yesterday did not get to me very easily. I was out and about, busy all day with family. On my weekends, I think I'm going to start to reclaim a little bit and spend more time with my family. So if I don't get back to you by, Monday or Tuesday, get back to me. But if you contact me on the weekends and it's not super pressing, I'm going to start putting things. I need to create boundaries too, so that I've got time with my family. So I apologize if I haven't gotten back to some of you, or if I got back late yesterday. I gotta have my places where I can just get away from it all sometimes and unplug. So yesterday was an unplugged day. So anyway, now that we're plugged back in, you're welcome, Shauna. You are so welcome. Hi, Lauren. Okay. So we're going to go into a meditation. We got about 10 minutes. I don't want to run too late. I know Sundays are a busy day on EWN. So we're going to move into a quick meditation. I'm seeing dragonflies around me already. Last night when I was trying to go to sleep, I was laying there with my eyes shut for the longest time, seeing dragonflies in every shape. Some were like metallic, some were like steampunk, and some were like drawings, and some were like tattoos, and it was just crazy what I was seeing. So so if you're seeing a lot of third eye activity right now, it's a very busy time for that. Oops. So I hope that you guys are ready to go back into the garden today. I love to go to the garden. I want to meet our loved ones again. I want a big old hug. So all of you, get your feet grounded to the floor. Envision your roots coming out. See those roots going deeply into the ground. They're getting you all settled there, grounded onto the earth. Archangel Michael is coming in and wrapping us all in protection as we go into this little bit of a healing, clearing session. We're going to use our imaginations to go into the garden. If you're ready to release anything, please be open. Even if you don't know what it is that's holding you back, you can be open and release. So let's do this. It'll be short and sweet. Go ahead and take a big breath. Now we're going to step into the garden. I'm going to see if I can get it on my camera. And as I do that, I want you to envision someone. Think of someone right now that you'd like to spend time with. It may be someone who's passed, or someone that one of your angels, or a guide, or ascended master even. You can have Jesus waiting for you at the gate, or Kuan Yin, or who else would you like? Elvis Presley. John Denver. John Denver sounds fun. Whoever you'd like today. Have them waiting there. So hear that door creak open. And as you see the door open, let's count to 10 and let's work our way up to the door. And with every count, I want you to take a little breath and just relax your body. Breathe nice and easy and go deeper and deeper as you see that door coming closer to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Go ahead and get a big hug. Who's up there waiting for you? Big bear hugs. Let's take them. They're going to bring us into play. I can feel each one of you. Your higher selves are amazing. I wish you could feel what I feel. I can get just a hint. My physical body wouldn't allow me to fully lay my eyes on your soul, I promise. It's too magnificent. Breathing nice and easy. Feel the joy as you get that big hug and as they're ushering you into the garden. And as you go into that gate, everyone you've ever known, ever loved is within those gates. They're in there ready to hang out. They want picnics. I see a checkered blanket on the ground with some flowers in a picnic basket. Charlie, I think that's for you. I'd love for you to look around and see what's out there for you. Is there someone there that's longing to spend time with you? Some of you, one of you has lost a child or miscarried, and it feels as if there's a little one waiting. Go to whoever it is you feel drawn to. Grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, cousins. It's a huge soul family reunion inside there. You can find one of us. If you want to hang out with me, come find me. We'll go swing from the trees. You know how I like to be a monkey. We'll go find a troll bridge and play 3 Billy Goats Gruff on the troll bridge. Somebody's going to have to come here and visit me so we can play that game. Big breath. Relax your body. As your body is relaxing, it's receiving healing. I feel energy coming down over the crown and down into the third eye. Lots of third eye activity right now. There's a lot of like fingers on my forehead. So if you're feeling some pressure in your head, you're just getting a nice upgrade to that third eye so you can see better. A little weight lifted off the chest, off the heart. I hope someone feels a little better. The energy's now down in the throat. If you feel like you need to yawn or stretch your throat, it's all right there. I sure felt it blasting right on through anything that is keeping you from your truth so that you can speak and tell people what you know is your truth without fear, so that they will hear you differently. Your voice will come through to them differently. They'll hear that authority, that knowledge, that wisdom. The energy's moving down into the heart, clearing away any blocks, lifting away any stagnant energy, lifting away grief, any lower vibrational energies, any cords or attachments. If there are any cords or attachments to loved ones that need to be severed and released, if you're ready, you can release those now. Letting them go, let them go into healing. Let them go with love. Love never leaves us, never ever leaves us. We'll never lose those things that we love the most or those people. A part of them always stays with us. But we do need to let them be free, to heal, to grow, to expand. We hold on too tightly, they don't feel that freedom. I'm guilty. I can do that with my children. So I sever those cords and attachments daily, allowing them to stand in their own light, trusting them to be amazing souls, trusting them to move through this and have the experiences that they've chosen to have without trying to control them. Nice lift off the heart. The solar plexus is getting all cleared up. Anything, any lies or anything that anyone's told you about yourself that's not true, you can let that go now. Don't believe anything less than utter perfection. Look in the mirror and say, wow, yes, you're beautiful, you're handsome. You got this. Talk nice to yourself every day. Big breath. Okay, the energy's down, solar plexus into the second, your sacral. Clearing away the clutter in there, taking away the energy of past relationships that no longer serve you. Opening you up to your truth. Creating a space for creativity. What would you like to do? What are your favorite things to do? And while we're going through this clearing, I'm kind of focusing on it, but I want to know what you're doing in that garden right now. Are you laying down, taking a break in the sunshine? Are you looking at the stars? My stars, I love that garden picture because it's like stars are right on the trees. They're so close I can reach out and touch them. How about we're laying under a willow tree? And the little branches of willow trees, each one has a star dangling over the top of your face. And you can reach out and just give them a little touch. Ping! And touch another one and get them just quivering around above you, sparkling in the night sky. I love to play with stars. Let's put a moon up there too. What does the moon look like? It's a big ball. You can just kind of reach up and poke it if you like. It's right over your head. Get a feel for it. What does it feel like? Give it a new crater with your fingertip. Be careful, don't smooth out all the craters on the moon. She loves to be scarred. She loves to show perfection through the scars, through the battle wounds. She's a perfect example of what we all are. Perfectly scarred. Down into the root chakra. And as it builds a perfect foundation there, a beautiful place for you to build from. All these new adventures and new opportunities arising to you. The energy moves down your legs and into your feet. Hi, angel. Down into the earth. And as it hits the earth, or the center of the earth, it comes back up. It's filled with this beautiful golden liquid that just flushes right on through. Any old residual negative energy, lower vibrational stuff gets flushed away, opening you up to your truth, clearing away any disease. Archangel Raphael has been working steadily to clear your cells of any disease, to open you up, to give you more energy, to renew your soul, your spirit, your physical self. Lifting away, I just felt a bunch of weight lift off of all of our shoulders. Can you feel that? It just feels so much better. Thank you to the angels, to our guides. And now I'd like you to look around that garden. You can come back anytime you'd like. Anytime. For now, we're going to just kind of walk back out of the garden. Tell those that you love that you'll see them in a little while, crocodile. Just in a little while. We're only temporary travelers here. We'll be back in no time. As a matter of fact, we can go back anytime we like. Just imagine it anytime you like. Go right back to that garden and spend time with those loved ones anytime. The more often you do that, you're so powerful. The more often you do that, the more you're recreating this earth we live on. So do it often, please, for all of us. Envision a beautiful place where there's no more hatred, no more pain, no more death, no more hunger, no more lack. We can do it together. As you come back out, I'd love for you to take a big breath, pull that higher self back into your heart space. Nice. I want to bring him back in, nice and safely protected. Archangel Raphael is wrapping each one of us in a healing bubble of protection as we go through our days, enjoying being in your own light, in your own space. If you have anyone right now in particular that you want to send some healing energy to, right now is the time to do it. Take a big breath, take about 10 seconds, send it out. Excellent. That was great. Thank you for helping with that. Now we're going to shut down this session, so as you come back into the body, you can count if you need to. Start to wiggle, start to move, ease yourself back into physical, allowing for that sense of a joining, a parallel between the ego and the higher self. What it feels like to be perfectly centered, aligned right now. Okay, ease on out. Well done. Well done. Thank you for joining me. Jane, let's read that real quick. I gotta get off of here. I'm running late. I can barely see. That's crazy about dragonflies. My friends at work wore dragonfly earrings yesterday. We spoke about her sister who died 3 years ago. I felt her pain yesterday. I think I have carried that energy through until today. I feel better now through interacting with you all. Thank you. That's very good. Thank you guys for joining us and helping Jane today to work our way through that. And those dragonflies, they come around to remind us of our loved ones, don't they? Steve has often brought me dragonflies, so I always feel very gifted when I see dragonflies in physical form, and as I'm going to sleep at night, it feels comforting, like he's visiting me. So dragonflies are a beautiful reminder. Angel, I'm glad you popped in towards the end there. Hope you'll catch up later. All right, you guys, you're very, very welcome. Love you, Charlie. Have a good day. Please give it a good day to everyone. Please take good care of yourselves today. Go stand barefoot outside for a little while. Find some nature, okay? Ground yourself. Take a salt bath. Have some good herbal teas. Take good care of yourself today. I'll see you back tomorrow at 9:30. Today's Sunday. Tomorrow we've got Silent Mystics also at 3:33, so I will be letting you know what's going on with that. I can't remember. I have to look at the schedule. I love you guys so much. Talk to you soon. We'll see you tomorrow.